Two-time Oscar winner Kevin Spacey, who was accused of multiple sexual assaults, but won in court every single time. He's back in the headlines. Spacey appeared on Piers Morgan, where he revealed what he knows about Jeffrey Epstein. Let's watch that.
In 2015, I started seeing reports online, things on my Twitter account that I had flown to this guy Jeffrey Epstein's island and I had abused young girls. And I was like, I mean, if you'd asked me in 2015, maybe even if you'd asked me in 2002, did I know a guy named Jeffrey Epstein? I probably would have said no. Well, of course, I have since learned who he is. And I have since been able to go back and find out that the airplane that we flew on for this humanitarian mission was owned by Jeffrey Epstein. And to then learn, oh, he was actually on some of those flights. And this Maxwell woman was on some of those flights. I didn't know him. I've never spent any time with him. I was with the Clinton Foundation people. That's who I was with. Do you know who I never asked for anything? Was Jeffrey Epstein. I didn't want to be around this guy because I felt he put the president at risk on that trip to South Africa because there were these young girls. And we were like, what? Who is this guy? So I will say this.
There were young girls on those flights?
There were young girls on those flights, yeah.
Spacey faced allegations of sexual assault by actor Anthony Rapp in 2017. Spacey denies the allegation that he assaulted Rapp in 1986 when Spacey was 26-year-old and Rapp was only 14. He was found not liable in 2022. Now, Spacey was also found not guilty on 9 charges, including sexual assault, that were allegedly committed between 2001 and 2013. Spacey broke down to Piers Morgan when Morgan asked him where he was living now.
Where do you live now?
Well, it's funny you asked that question because this week, where I have been living in Baltimore is being foreclosed on. My house is being sold at auction.
Really?
So I have to go back to Baltimore and put all my things in storage.
Spacey told Morgan he's broke and owes millions in legal fees. The actor faces another civil trial in the United Kingdom next year from a man who alleges the actor sexually assaulted him.
Look, I get that a lot of people find Kevin Spacey very creepy, and he was accused of a lot of wrongdoing by a number of different people. But I do believe in innocent until proven guilty. I'm a supporter of civil liberties. People had the right to come forward and make these accusations. Obviously, we have been too dismissive of sexual misconduct accusations in the past. These accusations were litigated in court many times, and Spacey prevailed. And so at some point, my question becomes, like, if we do believe in innocent until proven guilty, and we went through all the steps of trying to bring charges here and having it decided in court, and the charges couldn't stick, I don't know why, like, his he can never work again life sentence really makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, he's paid millions of dollars to settle these legal matters, and again, no court has said, all right, we are persuaded you did do this.
So what's fascinating about this
that's where I come at it,
is while we like to say innocent until proven guilty, our legal system, the pronouncements are actually guilty or not guilty. Right. It is not a pronouncement of innocence, which is a far harder thing to prove or establish than whether or not you have some guilt or you are liable for that. And that's very intentional in our legal system to not declare people innocent. I mean, listen, we've got Harvey Weinstein, who on appeal, all of his convictions overturned. Does anybody believe that Harvey Weinstein did not sexually assault and embarrass and humiliate dozens of women throughout his career? But nobody's really calling for those women, many of whom were actors and actresses, to get employed again. And listen, I don't like seeing people cry on television. I hate seeing anybody, a celebrity who got to fly on a private jet, or a regular person have their house foreclosed on,
sure.
Right? Like, all of that is terrible. But in the court of social justice, and when you have corporate entities that are making decisions based on what they think is marketable or not, creepy guy, not marketable right now.
Well, I mean, that's fine. And yeah, in the court of public opinion, people can believe whatever they want. I mean, the reporting on Harvey Weinstein was so exhaustive, with multiple people speaking on the record, with recordings, with all sorts of evidence. The Kevin Spacey, obviously he was accused on the record by Anthony Rapp. I think I'm not saying it didn't happen or that I disbelieve it or anything of that nature. I don't think it is nearly as exhaustively demonstrated as the accusations against Harvey Weinstein.
What I find fascinating about all of this is what art are we allowed to enjoy and what are we not?
Yeah, right.
Right, like you know, okay, so I can do.
He's a terrific actor.
I can
There's no way
totally
around it.
do
He
without
just is.
R. Kelly and ever giving him another penny. Plus, he's still alive, and I don't need to dance to any of those songs anymore.
But if you do, I don't
Michael
care.
Jackson, kind of hard to get out of the system.
Yeah, I don't like R. Kelly music particularly just because it's not my type.
You don't
of
like
music,
Michael Jackson either?
Actually, Michael Jackson, I like Michael Jackson music, sure. I'm not like a diehard fan.
It's
fine. It's fine. But I don't think people should be precluded from enjoying it because of the charges against him, which also were litigated and was
he
not.
He was exonerated,
right.
Not proven innocent,
well,
and that's part of the challenge.
That's how it goes. I don't know. Well, so we should not gloss over though the big story I think at the beginning of that interview when he talks about being on the Epstein plane
and not knowing, because there's random young girls on this humanitarian mission.
Yeah, that sounds pretty
right on the
suspicious.
Private plane that listen.
The private plane that Bill Clinton is on as well. That's the part
every time I go on a private plane, I never know who owns it or what else is happening around me because clearly it's such a common occurrence. Though
this was in the early aughts. This was happening.
I'm being sarcastic. I don't think I've actually ever been on a private plane. I feel like I would know if I had.
Yeah.
I barely get out of the middle seat as it is. Like, let's be clear. In the last
aisle
row.
kind of guy. Are
in the
you
last
a window
row.
seat?
No, I'm part of they decide to separate parents from their children challenge right now with airlines, so it's not a happy fate. But with the other part he mentioned was, that they're all the young girls and that he was part of the accusation of having abused girls. That's what he's seeing online. I'm like, dude, the guy's gay.
Right.
Like, get your conspiracy theories right.
Right.
Some kernel of truth.
But it does. I mean, it always looks suspicious when if anyone was on the plane, that has invited accusations. But all these rich and powerful people taking trips with Jeffrey Epstein for years and years and years, and like this guy didn't actually. Then he was convicted. Epstein was of sex crimes related to. I mean, he took a plea deal of sex crimes related to minors in the later part of the decade. He gets like house arrest. And then that ends, and then he continues his business associations with Bill Gates and with financial institutions and with nonprofits. And at that point, that's the point where you can't say I didn't know
women
anymore.
Who are adults. That's it. Just if you're an adult, date adults. It's really not that hard.
Or men who are adults. If you're
that's what I'm saying.
Spacey, but I don't.
If you're an adult, date adults. Don't have sex with children.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
Under 18 is children, folks.
Another subject we're not going to argue about on the show today.
This is fascinating.
All right, That does it for us for today's episode of Rising. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any of our content. For those of you who like to listen while on the go, we are now available anywhere you listen to podcasts, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Take care.